summer has actually even been deadly in many cases. Already this year, there have been 450 rock falls in the Mont Blanc Massif alone, and that is just since the start of the year, as I said, and there have been a number of fatalities. So even some hiking tours have been canceled because of this, and they say, again, it's climate change and it's the heat that's hitting.
It's devastating. We need to take care of the planet. You know, it was surprising to me that some of my friends don't turn off the faucet when they brush their teeth. You know, you wet your toothbrush, then you turn it off, then you brush your teeth. They just let the water run. And that's how I know you grew up in a first world country and not a third world country. I'm sure you don't turn it off, Tom. You don't turn it off. You're not saying anything. You don't turn it off.
It's like the view out here.
He turns it off.
You know, where's Whoopi?
You have to turn it off. Anyway.
I turn it off.
Alexis,
Thank you, Alexis.
So much. I'm so half asleep when I brush my teeth. I mean, I do it weekly.
That's nice. Better than monthly. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Where's Paul? Okay, we'll continue here. Futures up 33. Isabel Lee doesn't remember this. I do. 61 years ago on David Easley's bed. Great New York. The song. Unreal.
Retire with all KXLY Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, a KXLY brand station, home of WSU Athletics and the Cougars Sports Network.
High bars this morning after this ring camera footage found him stealing from a 5-mile home during Spokane fire evacuation. On social media helped police make a quick arrest.
And if you thought it was hot yesterday, switch to the scene today. Tracking hot weather and fire danger ahead of the weekend.
Economic D-Day. That's how President Trump is describing his new plan to cripple Iran's economy. What it means for American interests and global stability coming up. Live on KXLY Plus and 4 News Now, you're watching Good Morning Northwest. Thanks for starting your day with us. I'm Rob King.
I'm Natalie Grant. Today is Friday, August 21st. We'll get right on over to meteorologist Matt Gray, who is tracking a warm day again today in our first alert forecast.
Yeah, it's going to be it's not just warm, it's going to be hot this afternoon. And certainly you felt that if you stepped outside at all yesterday afternoon. I mean, you really kind of felt it a little bit. Well, guess what? We're going to crank things up even more here for today. A heat advisory is in place until 10 p.m. It's because these afternoon temperatures are going to be sizzling, to say the least. 97 in Spokane, a chance for some 98 to 99s from I-90 between Spokane and Coeur d'Alene here for this afternoon. And especially as you head to the south, we're going to see some very warm temperatures. I mean, Grangeville's all the way up to 94. That's quite something. 100 in Pullman, 105 in the Lewiston area, 98 in Bonners Ferry, and some 99s and low 100s, Omak, Grand Coulee, Moses Lake, and the Ritzville area. Nobody is getting away with it. Not even those places that are usually quite a bit cooler. I mean, look at Winthrop, 95 today. So it's going to be hot no matter where you are in the inland northwest. Right now, well, as you can imagine, it's kind of warm out after a hot day yesterday. 65 degrees right now in Spokane. And we are going to rise pretty rapidly here once the sun comes up this morning. By 10 o'clock, we are in the upper 70s. By 2 o'clock, we're in the 90s. And that is where we stay as skies begin to cloud over ahead of a lot of changes that are on the way for the weekend. The fire weather situation is enough to where we've gone ahead and declared tomorrow a weather alert day. We'll talk more about your weekend coming up.
Matt, thanks. In news around the world this morning, President Trump says he's about to crush Iran's economy, declaring what he calls an economic D-Day.
ABC's Karen Waz in D.C. with the details.
Good morning. The president has frequently flip-flopped his tone toward Iran. He's gone from repeatedly saying they're close to a deal, then bombing the country for nearly 2 weeks straight, and now promising to ruin their economy like never before. This morning, President Trump declaring a new kind of warfare against Iran, what he calls an economic D-Day. On social media, the president also threatening Iran's allies, saying, quote, any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities to provide any type of lifeline to Iran will itself face tremendous economic consequences. It's unclear if Trump is ready to punish Iran's top trading partner, China.
Having secondary sanctions increase could have more of an effect.
and potentially push Iran back to the negotiation table.
Iran's foreign minister responded, saying Trump's threats are a distraction from America's record-high national debt and other problems. Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates is also putting economic pressure on Iran, announcing an indefinite trade embargo. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
Well, this man is in jail this morning because ring camera footage helped solve a burglary during the recent Spokane complex fire evacuation.
The video captured Lawrence Moss rifling through a garage on 5 Mile the day the fire started. After the man who lived there returned home, he learned his gun and guitar had been stolen. He decided to post this video to social media. And not long after, the video went viral. And several people, including his own brother, identified the suspect as Moss.
It sucks that there's people like that take advantage of other people during situations like that. But yeah, I was really surprised on how quick the arrest was and how quick the response was by posting it and everything. It was pretty immediate.
Police arrested Moss and charged him with burglary. He pleaded not guilty in court, though court documents show he admitted to police he stole the items and sold them for drugs. Spokane police say they received a dozen looting reports and several trespassing reports during the evacuations. SPD has made at least 4 arrests related to those incidents.
Another one of those arrests happened on Wednesday of this week. A homeowner in the Indian Trail neighborhood called police to report that a woman was on the property of their home, which had been lost in the fire. They said it appeared she was stealing things. Now, that suspect, identified as 33-year-old Taylor Edwards. Once probable cause was developed, Edwards was charged with second-degree criminal trespassing. She was then booked into Spokane County Jail. Her car had been seized and pending a search warrant. Well, the flames from the Spokane complex fires didn't just destroy our homes.
Other beloved community gathering places like city parks were also impacted. Westgate Park near the Rifle Club neighborhood suffered some of the worst damage. On the north side of the park, singed trees and ash are left where lush vegetation used to grow. Damage assessment crews have already moved through impacted park properties to take down the high-risk trees. Longtime neighbors say it's been hard to watch their busy park suffer so much damage.
It's unbelievable. I mean, there's always somebody in this park. They're walking their dogs out. Now it's kind of like, they're gone.
On the playground, only a swing remains. This play structure was going to be renovated anyway this fall with the money from the voter-approved Together Spokane levy. And the Parks Department says that's still the plan. And any disaster assistance funds that the city receives from FEMA will also be put back into the betterment of the park.
Well, the Washington Department of Transportation is activating 2 ramp meters on I-90 in Liberty Lake next week. The meters will stagger cars as they merge onto the freeway. The meters have been installed on the I-90 ramps at the Harvard Road interchange. Washtub says meters like these can help reduce crashes by up to 30%. Starting next Tuesday, they'll be operational between 6 and 9 a.m. and then between 1 and 6 p.m. 9 other similar meters are active on the I-90 corridor in and around Spokane. Keep that on your mind as you're heading out the door on Monday.
A couple extra minutes.
Yeah. Good morning, Northwest time right now, 5:06.
Let's check back in with meteorologist Matt Gray this morning as we're starting to get a little peek of the sunrise.
Yeah, so it's come up here over North Idaho. We're looking into the Hayden area. A lot going on in North Idaho the next couple of days. So we have hot weather. That's going to be pretty much universal. And then on the Idaho side of the state line is where we have a pretty decent chance here for some thunderstorms going into the weekend. We'll talk a lot more about those and what you can expect coming up.
And the North Idaho State Fair is back starting today, bringing a more than 100-year-old tradition here to the fairgrounds once again. We'll tell you all about some of the new things you can expect if you come on out a little later in the show.
Plus, a disturbing crime wave in Philadelphia has people on edge. Police released a new video of the suspect they say targeted dozens of people wearing a creepy doll mask. Where the investigation stands this morning. We'll be right back.
Drain Paint, Bulldog Rooter is Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's trusted plumbing and drain pro. For main water repairs, leaky pipes, clogged drains, and more. If you got a clog, call the dog. 535-3447 or visit BulldogRooters.com. Cut through the noise with radio, TV, and digital working together. KXLY Brands helps businesses drive traffic and boost sales. Start your next breakthrough campaign at KXLYBrands.com. The perfect
unfortunate in a day or even a Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
When you're finally off the clock after a long day, dishes put away, kids asleep, feet kicked up, heartburn. Don't let heartburn take over your hard-earned moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets begin neutralizing stomach acid in seconds, so you can get back to your one more episode marathon. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Use as directed.
Your Big 3 season has come down to this. The Big 3 Championship is coming to Charlotte. Who will be crowned the Big 3 Season 9 champion? Plus the Big 3 All-Star Game. The biggest names in the game. All on one course, one more time. 2 games of the most physical, competitive, and non-stop 3-on-3 action. The game played the way you love. Watch live Saturday on CBS at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and catch replays Monday on BET.
You're listening to Good Morning Northwest on 920 News Now.
Welcome back. Time is 5:10. Here's a look at what's new on Good Morning Northwest. The USS George Washington is now in the Middle East to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln.
That's according to U.S. military leaders. The Abraham Lincoln has been at sea for an extended deployment due to the Iran war. This lengthy deployment sparking concerns among many lawmakers and military families after reports of crews worsening mental health. Washington's rotation to the Middle East now leaves the U.S. without an aircraft carrier in the Pacific.
Meanwhile, another aircraft carrier under construction may soon be named after President Trump. The carrier was sent to honor Doris Miller, a black sailor hailed for his heroic actions during the attack on Pearl Harbor. President Trump himself announced the dedication in 2020. It's unclear exactly what the Navy is seeking to change, why the Navy is seeking to change the name of the carrier, but sources say there have been internal conversations about naming it to honor Trump. It would be an unprecedented move to name an aircraft carrier after a sitting president.
A manhunt is on right now in Philadelphia for someone police say terrorized people across the city in a creepy doll mask. 22-year-old Zamir Hughes has already fled the state, or may have already fled the state. Investigators now releasing new video of the suspect. They say targeted at least 15 people on the city streets, including a woman who severely injured her leg trying to run away from him.
This morning, some relief may be coming from the grocery bill. Walmart says it's putting its $2.9 billion tariff refund toward lowering prices. Grocery prices are shaping up as a key midterm issue. President Trump campaigned on bringing them down. A new poll finds 41% of Americans are concerned about being able to afford groceries over the next few months, which is up from 24% in April.
All right, let's plan your day here now. 65 degrees, and we are going to end up with another hot one around the inland northwest. Going to be close to triple digits within about 3 or 4 degrees for this afternoon. A lot of places are going to end up being in that 99 to kind of 101 range, especially across the Columbia Basin. It's going to be stuffy tonight. We're also going to be looking at our first round of kind of changes coming to your forecast, isolated rain, and a chance for a few rumbles of thunder in the region.
Matt, thanks. Well, there's a similar alert this morning. If you use eye drops for your itchy red eyes, you may want to check your medicine cabinet. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has now recalled nearly 40,000 bottles of Clear Eyes sold nationwide over contamination concerns. Prestige Consumer Healthcare says the recall involves Clear Eyes' maximum itchy eye relief due to a lack of assurance of sterility. Now, the recall applies to the 15-millimeter bottles with an expiration date of September 30th of 2027. If you have the drops, you're told to not use them and return them to the store for a refund. Good morning, Northwest time right now. It's 5:13.
A new video shows the moment a small plane crashed into a state police helicopter in Pennsylvania. And now the NTSB is investigating how the collision happened despite both pilots communicating with each other.
Well, the 9th North Idaho State Fair kicks off today. We are live showing you some of the fun you can expect. It's coming up right after this commercial break.
Bloomberg Business of Entertainment report. It's being called the most anticipated video game in history. Who's back? Take-Two Interactive Software opened up pre-orders for Grand Theft Auto 6 to results his CEO called unprecedented and astonishing. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier says the game's last release set the precedent.
GTA 5 came out in 2013 and has since sold 230 million copies. It did really well on launch day, but a lot of those sales have come in the years since then.
The open-world crime-action game will be released November 19th for Xbox and PlayStation consoles. Schreier says it's been quite the journey.
This game has been in development for about 8 years, and it's big, it's fast, it's got a lot going on.
And on August 27th, gamers will get an extensive look at Grand Theft Auto 6 with a 6-hour exclusive window on Netflix before it's released on YouTube and other social media platforms. Lisa Mateo, Bloomberg Radio.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey. There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Tanner's giving me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you and tell you how to keep safe.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
To provide the music, talk, and sports you love. And to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on newer local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text stop to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is Good Morning Northwest on 920 News Now.
Welcome back. Your time right now is 5:06. For the perfect summer send-off, well, the North Idaho State Fair opens today, kicking off a week of family fun at the Cooney Fairgrounds.
And the fair's been a North Idaho tradition for more than a century. Livestock shows, live entertainment rides, of course, fair food. And Alexandra Conyards is live at the fairgrounds this morning. And Alexandra, getting a preview of what families can expect and maybe a little taster?
Yeah, Rob, we're actually going to taste it a little bit later this morning, but you can see from just around me, there is all kinds of fair food here to be enjoyed throughout the next couple days. I've got Vanessa here with me who's helping organize all of this. Now, Vanessa, you've been running around, getting this going. How are you feeling to finally welcome everyone out today?
We are just very excited to open the gates and let everyone in and see what we've been working on for the last year.
Yeah, and speaking of, when people coming out, what should they expect?
We have a lot of new attractions this year. We have sea lions, we have a circus, we have lots of roaming acts, and of course livestock, fair food, all the good things that you would expect at a fair.
That's crazy. Sea lions at a fair? Yeah, that's pretty spectacular. And now for families who are coming on out today and over the next 10 days, what is the timing going to look like of when they should come?
So today on opening day, we open at 2 p.m. and it is Flood the Fair Friday, so you get in free until 4 o'clock. And then we have our arena show. We have motocross at 6:30 tonight.
Wow, that is so exciting. And I know you've been doing fairs for quite some time now. Your kids used to be a part of it. What is it that you think makes this fair so special?
We have a great ground. We have a wonderful fairgrounds. We travel to other fairgrounds, and my kids would always say how fortunate we are for this fairgrounds. We have a lot going on. It's beautiful, and it's just something that we really cherish here.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us this morning, Vanessa, and I'm so excited for you guys to be kicking things off today. Now, we at KXLY, we also partner with the North Idaho State Fair, and on Thursday, it's going to be Coats for Kids Day. So if you bring a coat before 3 p.m. that's new or gently used, you can actually come on in for free, and it helps to make sure that kids have coats and stay warm all winter long. Reporting live from the fairgrounds, Alexandra Conyards, 4 News Now.
Oh, so much fun. And like she said, just a kickoff to summer. If you need just like a little getaway, something to just, or a kickoff to the end of summer, start of the school year.
A little reprieve for the last couple of weeks. And I know coats are probably the last thing on everybody's mind after these last couple of days. But
you have the very back of the closet somewhere. But
maybe it'll motivate you to get rid of some.
Exactly, yeah. It's a good time to clean things down here, especially because before you know it, you're going to be bringing that, the winter clothing is going to come down off the shelf sooner rather than later. Certainly sooner than you think. As for today, anything approaching a coat is definitely not advised today. My goodness. We are going to be quite hot this afternoon. We are warmer than we were when we got up yesterday in many areas. Even in the spots that were in the 40s are only down to about 50, such as Deer Park, Spirit Lake, and Apple in the 50s here. 50s in Suncrest as well, and in Millwood we're in the 60s across most of the I-90 corridor, with the exception of downtown Coeur d'Alene. Our highs for this afternoon in the I-90 corridor. Yes, we have a chance to get up to around 99 degrees in the bottom of the valley from downtown Spokane through the valley, downtown Coeur d'Alene here as well, 97s and 98s in here at the same time. So yes, it is going to be pretty toasty this afternoon. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself for the afternoon hours, because it is going to be a sizzler, to say the least, even more so than what we saw yesterday. Then a bunch of changes coming for the weekend. You can see that already here in the water vapor satellite imagery. That moisture moving up here. We're going to see some additional cloud cover as the day goes on, all because of this storm system sending the winds this direction here and eventually priming our atmosphere for some thunderstorm activity. And then as we get into tomorrow, it's a combination of thunderstorms, but it's still going to be kind of hot out there. And so especially during the second half of the day, we're looking at a good possibility of dry thunderstorms. That is in this kind of brown coloration here. These are from the National Storm Prediction Center and their fire weather forecasters. And then you have this kind of more of this gold color here. This is where you also have the combination of hot, dry, and windy conditions here, right along the Columbia Basin into parts of the Palouse, into parts of the Spokane area. So we're going to begin with that factor. Let's take a look here. As we get into the afternoon, we're going to see those winds really pick up, especially across the Columbia Basin. Wind gusts well above 30 miles an hour here. We'll see wind gusts consistently into the 20s around Spokane and occasionally up to around 30 miles per hour. We'll also, as we go into Sunday, can see some pretty consistently breezy conditions, but less of the acute winds around the region compared to the day prior. Then we have the risk for lightning, and that is, I think, the biggest thing here is that there will be a chance for a few lightning strikes overnight, maybe a couple of sprinkles here, but going into the afternoon, yes, storm coverage is going to be a bit more isolated, but we are going to see these storms pack a bit of a punch here, especially producing quite a bit of lightning strikes. Our best chance here for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene to see a thunderstorm in the local area, especially on the Coeur d'Alene side, is going to be as we head into the late Saturday afternoon, which is also when it is going to be windiest. So you have a combination of lightning, you have a combination there of also just kind of being windy in the background and probably not much rain coming out of these. And that is why it is a weather alert day, why we want to make sure that you're aware of what's going on here, because naturally started wildfires, there's going to be a few out there with all the lightning strikes we're expecting over the next kind of a 48 to 72 hours here. There will be a chance for a couple of storms to linger into Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, though, I mean, it's going to feel a little bit better, at least. We'll be back down towards 80, which is going to feel pretty nice compared to today.
That's a wild drop-off.
Yeah.
It's 80, obviously, is a warm temperature, but it's going to feel a little bit refreshing after these.
After today, that's for sure.
All right, Matt, thank you so much.
Your Good Morning Northwest time is 5:22.
Well, high school football returns in exactly 2 weeks from today. And coming up, we'll show you the new locker rooms that the Freeman Scotties will be preparing in and how they're gearing up for their home opener. It's coming up next in Morning Sports.
PNW Ag Network, I'm Glenn Fogg, and remember, for the latest news impacting our area forests and the timber industry, visit pnwag.net and click on our Forest and Timber tab. Wildfires continue to wreak havoc across the Pacific Northwest. with several large blazes still burning. USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey.
We're still dealing with some very significant wildfires. The Big Grass Fire that has now become the largest U.S. wildfire of the year to date, with an acreage approaching 600,000 acres that has burned in southeastern Oregon and into southwestern parts of Idaho. It's a cross-state fire.
If you thought we've seen a lot of acres burn across the west this summer, Rippey says you're right.
Now crept above 7.2 million. That puts us in the ballpark of about 170% of average for the typical number of acres burned nationwide by mid-August.
You know, it's not uncommon to see monsoon rains roll into southern parts of Idaho and Oregon this time of year, but Rippey said at this point those showers are falling on the eastern side of the Great Basin. FSA is making Conservation Reserve Program acres available to help livestock producers impacted by wildfires in Oregon and Washington. FSA has authorized producers in California, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington to donate CRP haying or grazing rights to wildfire-affected livestock producers in Oregon and Washington. Now, the emergency haying and grazing authorization runs until the start of each state's 2027 primary nesting season, with restrictions during those periods. For a list of those dates, you should check out pnwag.net. Producers interested in donating haying or grazing rights should contact the local FSA office to determine eligibility, availability, and stocking rates. FSA says non-emergency use provisions are also available in Washington during the primary nesting season, although a 25% rental rate reduction applies. This is the PNW Ag Network.
America's public land belong to all of us. They're where we go to fish, camp, and carry on generations of outdoor